nurture complacency, and keep us tethered to mediocrity. Greatness is not some rare commodity doled out to a chosen few. It's the birthright of every single person in this room. The question is not whether you have greatness within you. The question is whether you will have the courage to let it out. From the moment it's born, it has everything it needs to become a mighty hunter. The instincts, the strength, the potential, it's all there. But that cup still needs to grow, to practice, to push itself beyond its comfort zone. It's the same with us. Your potential for greatness is innate, but it's up to you to nurture it, to challenge it, to refuse to let it lie dormant. I am not ready. How many times have you had an idea, a dream, a goal, but you have pushed it aside because you didn't feel ready? You will never feel 100% ready. Waiting for perfect conditions is a fool's game. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until they were ready. They started before they felt prepared and figured it out along the way. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with someone who didn't have it all figured out. Your journey to greatness does not begin when you feel ready. It begins the moment you decide to start, imperfections and all. I am not saying you should recklessly dive into things without any preparation. But there's a world of difference between being prepared and being ready. Preparation is about taking actionable steps towards your goal. Readiness is often just a state of mind, and an elusive one at that. What dream have you been putting off because you do not feel ready? What goal have you been postponing until the perfect moment arrives? Identify it. Now, I want you to commit to taking one small step towards that dream today. Not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect, today. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your journey to greatness begins with killing that lazy thought that says you are not ready. It's too late for me. This is a particularly insidious one because it masquerades as wisdom. It tells us we have missed our chance, that our moment has passed. But let me tell you something, it's a lie. Your life is not a race with a set finish line. It's not about reaching certain milestones by certain ages. Your journey is uniquely yours. And it unfolds on its own timeline. That it's so late is nothing more than a lazy excuse to avoid stepping out of your comfort zone. History is filled with examples of people who achieved great things later in life. Did you know that Vera Wang didn't enter the fashion industry until she was 40? Or that Julia Child didn't learn to cook until she was 36 and published her first cookbook at 50? Colonel Sanders was 62 when he franchised Kentucky Fried Chicken. These individuals didn't let the lazy thought of it's too late hold them back. They understood that every day offers a new opportunity to start, to grow, to achieve. And the same is true for you. But perhaps you are thinking, that's all well and good for them. But my situation is different. Let me share a story with you that might change your perspective. I once met a man named Marcus. Marcus was in his late 50s when I first encountered him, but on my seminars. He sat in the back row, arms crossed, a skeptical look on his face. After the seminar, he approached me and said, "It all sounds great, but I think I've missed my chance. I am too old to start over." Marcus has spent 30 years in a job he hated because it was secure. He had dreams of starting his own business. But year after year, he told himself it was too late, that he was too old to take such a risk. I looked Marcus in the eye and asked him, "If you do not start now, when will you? Would it be any easier or any earlier year, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now?" That question hit Marcus like a thunderbolt. He realized that by constantly telling himself it was too late, he was ensuring that it would always be too late. The best time to start might have been 20 years ago, but the second best time was now. Marcus made a decision that day. He committed to taking action, to stop letting the lazy thought of it's too late dictate his life. He started small, dedicating his evenings and weekends to learning about business, developing his ideas. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks and moments of doubt, but Marcus persevered. 2 years later, Marcus left his job to focus full-time on his business. Today, at 63, he runs a successful company that not only fulfills him, but also provides jobs for dozens of people in his community. Marcus's story teaches us an important lesson. It's never too late to rewrite your story. The chapter you are in is not the end of the book. Every day, every moment offers a new beginning if you are willing to seize it. What dreams have you been putting off because you think it's too late? What goals have you abandoned because you believe your moment has passed? It's time to kill that lazy thought. Your age, your past, your current circumstances, they're not limitations unless you allow them to be. The question is not, is it too late? The question is, are you willing to start now? Another lazy thought that holds many of us back. I do not have enough time. This is perhaps one of the most common excuses we use to justify our inaction. We convince ourselves that our schedules are too packed. Our responsibilities too numerous to pursue our dreams. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who do not is not the amount of time they have. It's how they choose to use it. Time is the great equalizer. No matter where you come from, what your circumstances are, you have 24 hours each day. The question is, how are you investing those hours? I am not suggesting that you do not have real responsibilities and commitments. Of course you do. But I am challenging you to examine how you are allocating your time. Are you truly too busy to work towards your goals? Or have you fallen into the trap of busyness without productivity? The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. That's 14 hours a week. 56 hours a month. 672 hours a year. Imagine what you could accomplish if you redirected even a fraction of that time towards your goals. The key is to stop viewing time as something that controls you and start seeing it as a resource you can control. It's about priorities, not scarcity. When you say, I do not have time, what you are really saying is, this is not a priority for me right now. We need to kill the lazy thought that says we are at the mercy of time and reclaim our power to choose how we spend our hours. Start by auditing your time. For 1 week, track how you spend each hour. You might be surprised by what you discover. Are there pockets of time you're wasting? Activities that do not align with your goals or values? Once you have this information, you can make intentional choices about how to reallocate your time. It's not about finding more time. It's about making better use of the time you have. It's about being intentional, focused, and committed to your priorities. What goal have you been putting off because you do not have time? Identify it. Now, commit to finding just 30 minutes each day to work towards that goal. It might mean waking up a bit earlier, using your lunch break differently, or turning off the TV in the evening. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. Treat it with the same importance as you would any other crucial appointment. You will be amazed at what you can accomplish in just 30 focused minutes a day. But more than that, you will be breaking the pattern of letting the I do not have time excuse control your life. You will be proving to yourself that you do have the power to make time for what truly matters to you. Another lazy thought that often masquerades as humility. Who am I to think I can do this? This self-doubt, this imposter syndrome is one of the most crippling forms of lazy thinking. It keeps us playing small, convincing us that we are not worthy or capable of achieving great things. You are exactly who you need to be to pursue your dreams, your unique experiences, perspectives. And gifts make you perfectly suited to offer something to the world that no one else can. Every great achievement in history started with someone who could have asked, who am I to do this? Who was Steve Jobs to think he could change the way we interact with technology? Who was Martin Luther King Jr. to believe he could lead a movement that would transform a nation? Who was Mother Teresa to imagine she could touch the lives of millions? These individuals weren't born with some special entitlement to greatness. They were ordinary people who refused to let self-doubt hold them back. They understood that their unique voice, their unique perspective was exactly what was needed. The same is true for you. Your dreams, your ideas, your potential contributions, they matter. The world needs what only you can offer. But to give that gift, you need to kill the lazy thought that says you are not enough. Start by recognizing that self-doubt is not a sign of inadequacy. It's a normal part of growth and change. Everyone, even the most successful people, grapple with self-doubt at times. The difference is that they do not let it paralyze them. Instead of asking, who am I to do this? Try thinking, who am I not to do this? What opportunities more? What problems might go unsolved? What beauty uncreated? What innovations unmade if you let self-doubt win? Confidence is not about knowing you will succeed. It's about being willing to try even when success is not guaranteed. It's about understanding that your worth is not determined by the outcome, but by your willingness to step up and give your all. What dream have you been hesitating to pursue because you've been asking, who am I to do this? Identify it now. I want you to reframe that question. Instead of who am I to do this? Ask yourself, who am I to deny the world my contribution? Feel the shift in energy that comes with that change in perspective. Your unique gifts, your unique voice, they're needed. Do not let the lazy thought of self-doubt rob the world of what only you can offer. Let's move on to another lazy thought that often holds us back. I will do it tomorrow. Procrastination is perhaps the most common form of self-sabotage. It's the thief of time, the enemy of progress. And it often disguises itself as a reasonable decision to delay action. Tomorrow is a myth. It's an illusion that keeps us comfortable in our inaction today. The only moment you ever have to take action is now. Tomorrow will always be 24 hours away, no matter how long you wait. How many dreams have been deferred? How many goals abandoned because tomorrow never came? Each time we say, I'll do it tomorrow, we are not just postponing action. We are actively choosing inaction. We are letting our lazy thoughts win. I am not saying you need to accomplish everything immediately. Big goals take time. But the journey towards those goals, the process of turning dreams into reality, can only happen through consistent daily action. If you take one small step towards your goal every day, over time, those steps add up to significant progress. But if you consistently put things off until tomorrow, you will find yourself in the same place days, weeks, or even years from now. The key is to kill the lazy thought that says you can afford to wait. Replace it with a sense of urgency, a recognition that this moment, right now, data is all you are guaranteed. Start by breaking your goals down into small, manageable tasks. Then, commit to doing at least one of these tasks every single day. No exceptions, no excuses. It does not have to be big. Even 15 minutes of focused action is better than nothing. Success is not about making huge leaps occasionally. It's about taking small steps consistently. It's about choosing to act today, rather than waiting for some mythical perfect tomorrow. What goal have you been putting off until tomorrow? Identify it. Now, I want you to commit to taking one small action towards that goal today. Right after this talk, if possible, break the cycle of procrastination. Prove to yourself that you do not need to wait for tomorrow to start making progress. It's too risky. This fear of risks, of stepping out of our comfort zones, can be one of the biggest obstacles to achieving our dreams. BI is playing it safe, really as safe as we think. In a world that's constantly changing, staying still is often riskier than moving forward. The comfort zone might feel safe, but it's also where dreams go to die. Every time you get in a car, every time you try a new restaurant, every time you meet a new person, you are taking a risk. Life itself is inherently risky. The question is not whether to take risks, but which risks are worth taking. The most successful people in the world understand that risk and reward are two sides of the same coin. They know that to achieve great things, you must be willing to step into uncertainty, to risk failure for the chance of success. But this does not mean being reckless. It means being calculated in your risks. It means doing your homework, preparing as best you can, and then having the courage to take that leap of faith. What's the worst that could happen if you take this risk? Now, what's the best that could happen? Often we spend so much time worrying about the potential downsides that we forget to consider the incredible upsides of taking action. Moreover, what's the cost of not taking the risk? What opportunities might you miss? What growth might you forgo? Sometimes, the biggest risk of all is not taking any risks. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every failure brings with it lessons that move you closer to your goals. If you are willing to learn from them, the only true failure is never trying at all. What dream have you been hesitating to pursue because it feels too risky? Identify it. Now, I want you to do two things. First, write down the worst that could happen if you take this risk. Then, write down the best that could happen. Finally, write down what will happen if you do nothing at all. Let this exercise give you perspective on the true nature of the risk you are considering. Kill the lazy thought that says playing it safe is always the best option. Embrace calculated risks as opportunities for growth and achievement. Let's tackle a lazy thought that often lurks in the background of our minds. I do not deserve success. This belief, often stemming from low self-esteem or past experiences, can be one of the most insidious barriers to achieving our goals. Success is not about deserving. It's about creating, about taking action, about persistently moving toward your goals despite obstacles and setbacks. The universe does not dole out success based on some cosmic scorecard of worthiness. Success is available to anyone willing to work for it, to learn, to grow, and to persevere. Do you believe that every successful person in the world inherently deserves their success more than others? Of course not. They achieved success because they took consistent action towards their goals, because they refused to let setbacks deter them, because they were willing to learn and adapt along the way. The idea that you do not deserve success is nothing more than a lazy thought holding you back from your true potential. It's a self-imposed limitation that has no basis in reality. Success is not a finite resource that only a select few are entitled to. It's an abundant possibility available to anyone willing to put in the work and persevere through challenges. Every skill you have ever mastered, every accomplishment you have achieved, started from a point of not knowing, of not being capable. You weren't born knowing how to walk, talk, or read. You learned. You practiced. You improved. The same principle applies to success in any area of life. Success is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about continuous growth, learning from failures, and consistently taking steps towards your goals. The most successful people in the world have faced numerous setbacks and failures. What sets them apart is their refusal to let these setbacks define them or their worthiness of success. Moreover, success is not a destination but a journey. It's not about reaching a specific point and declaring, I've made it. It's about setting goals, achieving them, and then setting new, higher goals. It's about constant evolution and improvement. So how do we kill this lazy thought that we do not deserve success? It starts with reframing our mindset. Instead of thinking in terms of deserving or not deserving, think in terms of creating. You create your success through your actions, your persistence, your willingness to learn and adapt. Begin by acknowledging your past achievements, no matter how small they may seem. These are proof that you are capable of success. Then set clear, achievable goals for yourself. Break these goals down into small, manageable steps. Each step you complete, each small victory you achieve, reinforces the truth that you are worthy and capable of success. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you face setbacks or make mistakes, do not berate yourself. Instead, view these as valuable learning experiences that are part of your journey to success. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek out people who believe in you and support your goals. Limit your exposure to negative influences that reinforce the false belief that you do not deserve success. Remember, the company you keep can significantly impact your mindset and beliefs about yourself. Embrace a growth mindset. Understand that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits, but qualities that can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset shift allows you to see challenges, opportunities for growth rather than threats to your worthiness. Take action despite your doubts, even if you do not feel 100% confident. Take that first step. Action builds confidence. As you take action and see results, no matter how small, you will start to internalize the belief that you are indeed worthy of success. I need to wait for the perfect moment. This idea of perfect timing can be a significant roadblock to achieving our goals. It's a subtle form of procrastination that keeps us in a state of perpetual preparation without ever launching into action. The truth is, there's rarely, if ever, a perfect moment. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges. If you wait for all the stars to align, for all conditions to be ideal, you might find yourself waiting forever. Success often comes not to those who wait for the perfect moment, but to those who make the moment perfect through their actions and attitude. It's about creating opportunities rather than waiting for them to appear. Many of them were launched during less than ideal circumstances. Some of the biggest companies today were started during economic recessions. Why? Because their founders understood that the right time is when you are ready to commit, to work hard, and to persevere, regardless of external circumstances. This does not mean you should recklessly dive into things without any preparation. But it does mean recognizing that at some point you need to take the leap. Perfect conditions are an illusion. There will always be challenges, uncertainties, and reasons to hesitate if you look for them. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, focus on making the most of the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I do right now with the resources and circumstances I have to move closer to my goals? This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. You learn, grow, and improve through doing, not through endless planning and waiting. Each action you take, each experience you gain, brings you closer to your goals and makes you better equipped to handle future challenges. So how do we kill this lazy thought of needing the perfect moment? Start by setting a deadline for yourself. Choose a date to begin and commit to it regardless of whether you feel fully ready. This creates a sense of urgency and helps overcome the inertia of waiting. Break your goal down into small, manageable steps. Focus on taking that first step, then the next, and the next. Each small action builds momentum and confidence, making subsequent steps easier. Embrace imperfection. Understand that your first attempts might not be perfect, and that's okay. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Every imperfect action is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. Develop a bias towards action. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I take action now? Often the risks of action are far away by the potential benefits and the certainty of stagnation if you do not act. I want to address one final lazy thought. I can't do it alone. This belief often holds us back from even starting our journey towards our goals. We look at successful people and assume they had some special advantage, a team of supporters, or unique resources that we lack. While support and resources can certainly help, the initial drive, the first steps, the core of your journey, these must come from within you. No one can want your dreams for you more than you do. No one can take those crucial first steps on your behalf. Yes, collaboration and support are valuable. Yes, mentors and allies can provide guidance and open doors. But the fire that drives you forward, the determination to keep going when things get tough, that has to come from you. Moreover, you are more capable than you realize. Within you lies a wellspring of strength, creativity, and resilience that you may not even be aware of. Often it's only when we step out on our own, when we are forced to rely on our own resources, that we discover what we are truly capable of. Every great achievement in history started with one person deciding to take action. Every movement, every innovation, every work of art began with an individual choosing to move forward, often against considerable odds. This does not mean you have to do everything alone. As you progress, you will naturally attract others who resonate with your vision and energy. You will find mentors, collaborators, and supporters along the way. But it all starts with you taking that first step, alone if necessary. So how do we kill this lazy thought that we can't do it alone? Start by taking inventory of your strengths, skills, and resources. You likely have more going for you than you realize. That every skill can be learned. Every resource can be acquired or substituted. Set small, achievable goals that you can accomplish on your own. Each small victory will build your confidence and prove to yourself that you're capable of making progress independently. Develop self-reliance. Learn to trust your own judgment, to solve problems creatively, to pick yourself up after setbacks. These skills will serve you well throughout your journey, whether you are working alone or as part of a team. Seek knowledge and continuously educate yourself. In the age of information, many resources are freely available. Take advantage of books, online courses, podcasts, and other learning opportunities to build your skills and knowledge. And yes, build a network. But do so organically. As you take action towards your goals, you will naturally encounter others with similar interests and ambitions. Cultivate these relationships, but do not use the lack of a pre-existing network as an excuse not to start. My friends, the journey to success, to achieving your dreams and living a life of purpose, is not about avoiding lazy thoughts. It's about recognizing them for what they are. Excuses, fears, and self-imposed limitations, and choosing to act despite them. These lazy thoughts, I am not ready, it's too late for me. I do not have enough time. Who am I to think I can do this? I will do it tomorrow. It's too risky. I do not deserve success. I need to wait for the perfect moment. And I can't do it alone. They're not facts. They're stories we tell ourselves, often born out of fear or past experiences. But you have the power to change these stories. Your potential is not defined by your past, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. It's defined by your willingness to grow, to take action, to persevere in the face of challenges. It's defined by your courage to dream big and your determination to turn those dreams into reality. Identify the lazy thought that's been holding you back the most. Recognize it for what it is. A thought, not a truth. And then take one small action to prove that thought wrong. Just one step, however small, in the direction of your dreams. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your journey to greatness, to living a life of purpose and fulfillment, begins with the decision to act despite your lazy thoughts. You have within you everything you need to begin. The strength, the creativity, the resilience. It's all there, waiting to be unleashed. Trust in your ability to learn, to grow, to overcome obstacles. Believe in the power of consistent, dedicated action to transform your life and achieve your goals. Friends, we are here to explore a concept so powerful, so transformative, that it has the potential to redefine our entire approach to life. We are here to discover how to build a life we do not need a break from. A life you do not need a break from. How different would that be from the way most of us live now? How many of us spend our days counting down to the weekend, to our next vacation, to retirement? How many of us view our daily lives as something to be endured rather than enjoyed? This mindset has become so ingrained in our society that we barely shun it anymore. We accept it as normal, as just the way things are. But I am here to challenge that notion. I am here to suggest that there's a different way to live, a way that aligns so closely with our true selves, our passions, and our purpose that the very idea of needing a break becomes obsolete. I can almost hear some of you thinking, that sounds nice, but it's not realistic. I have bills to pay, responsibilities to meet. I can't just quit my job and follow my bliss. And you are absolutely right. Building a life you do not need a break from is not about abandoning your responsibilities or pursuing a life of constant leisure. It's about aligning your life as it is right now with your true purpose and passions. There was once a man named David. David had it all. Or so society told him. He had the high-paying job, the fancy car, the big house. He worked 60, sometimes 70 hours a week, always chasing that next promotion, that next bonus. His mantra was, work hard now, enjoy life later. Every day, David would drag himself out of bed, force down a quick breakfast, and rush to the office. He'd sit in meetings he hated, deal with people he couldn't stand, all for a paycheck that never seemed quite enough. His only solace, the 2 weeks of vacation he got each year, those precious 14 days when he could finally live. But one day something changed. David was on one of his coveted vacations, lounging on a beach, when he saw an old man walking along the shore. This man moved with a vitality that David had never seen before. Intrigued, David struck up a conversation. The old man, it turned out, was a local fisherman. He spent his days doing what he loved, being on the sea, catching fish, providing for his family. And he'd play his guitar, spend time with his loved ones, and watch the sunset. David was perplexed. But do not you want more? He asked. Do not you want to expand your business? Make more money. Become successful. The old man smiled. But why? He asked. I do what I love every day. I have time for my family, for my passions. I am at peace. I am happy. Is that not success? That conversation changed David's life. He realized that he had been chasing a mirage, always running towards a future moment of happiness while missing the beauty of the present. He had been building a life he constantly needed a break from, instead of creating one he loved living every single day. I am not suggesting we all quit our jobs and become fishermen. The point of this story is not about the specific lifestyle the old man had chosen. The point is about alignment. The fisherman had built a life that was in harmony with his values, his passions, and his purpose. And that's what we are here to talk about today. So how do we begin to build a life we do not need a break from? It starts with understanding a fundamental truth. You were created for a purpose. Each one of you, every single person here, was born with a unique set of gifts, talents, and passions. These are not random. They are not accidents. They are clues pointing you towards your purpose, towards the contribution only you can make to this world. When you align your life with this purpose, when you start living in harmony with your true self, something magical happens. Work ceases to be work in the traditional sense. It becomes a joyful expression of who you are. Mondays are no longer dreaded. They're welcomed as another opportunity to do what you love. Finding and living your purpose is not always easy. It requires courage. It demands that you challenge the status quo, that you question the path society has laid out for you. It means having the audacity to believe that you were meant for more than just paying bills and dying. I can almost hear some of you thinking, but I do not know what my purpose is. I do not have any special talents or passions to that. I say nonsense. Every single person of purpose has gifts to offer the world. Sometimes we have just buried them so deep under society's expectations that we have forgotten they exist. If you're struggling to identify your purpose or passions, start by paying attention to what energizes you. What activities leave you feeling fulfilled rather than praying? What topics can you talk about for hours without getting bored? What issues in the world make you think? Someone should do something about that. The answers to these questions are breadcrumbs leading you to your purpose. Follow them. Once you have gained clarity on who you are and what matters to you, the next step is to audit your current life. How much of your time is spent on activities that align with your values and passions? How much is spent on things that drain you? Are there changes you can make, even small ones, to bring more alignment into your daily life? This audit might be uncomfortable. You might realize that much of your life is out of alignment with your true self. But remember, awareness is the first step towards change. Building a life you do not need a break from does not mean you will never face challenges or difficulties. Life will still have its ups and downs. You will still have bad days. But when you are living in alignment with your purpose, these challenges become opportunities for growth rather than reasons to escape. It's like the difference between climbing a mountain you have chosen to climb and being forced to climb a mountain you have no interest in. Both are difficult. Both require effort. But one fills you with a sense of purpose and achievement, while the other just leaves you exhausted and resentful. So how do we start this journey? How do we begin to build a life we do not need a break from? First, we need to get clear on who we are and what we want. This requires honest self-reflection. What are your values? What matters most to you? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Next, we need to audit our current life. How much of your time is spent on activities that align with your values and passions? How much is spent on things that drain you? Are there changes you can make, even small ones, to bring more alignment into your daily life? Then we need to start making conscious choices. Every decision, from how you spend your free time to the career moves you make, should be filtered through the lens of your purpose and values. This might mean saying no to things that do not align with your true self, even if they seem attractive on the surface. It might mean taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone to pursue what truly matters to you. Building a life you do not need a break from is not about achieving a perfect, problem-free existence. It's about creating a life that's so aligned with who you are that even the challenges become meaningful. Some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I have real problems. I am struggling to pay my bills. I am dealing with health issues. I am facing discrimination. How can I build a life I do not need a break from when I'm just trying to survive? These are valid concerns, and I want to acknowledge them. Building a life you do not need a break from does not mean ignoring real problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding purpose and meaning even in the midst of challenges. In fact, some of the most inspiring examples of people living purposeful lives come from those who face the greatest adversities. Think of individuals who have overcome tremendous obstacles to make significant contributions to the world. These individuals didn't have easy lives. They faced challenges most of us can't even imagine. But they found ways to align their lives with their values and make meaningful contributions to the world, even in the midst of tremendous difficulty. So if you are facing significant challenges, I encourage you to ask yourself, how can I bring more purpose and meaning into my life? Even in the midst of these difficulties, how can I use my unique gifts to make a positive impact, no matter how small, in my current circumstances? Building a life you do not need a break from is not about achieving a perfect, problem-free existence. It's about creating a life that's so aligned with who you are that even the challenges become meaningful. Practical steps you can take to start building a life you do not need a break from. First, stop paying attention to your energy levels throughout the day. What activities energize you? What drains you? This awareness can help you identify areas of your life that are in alignment with your true self and areas that aren't. Second, make time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. If you love art, sketch during your lunch break. If you are passionate about writing, write for 15 minutes before bed. These small moments of alignment can have a big impact on your overall sense of fulfillment. Third, look for ways to bring more of your passions into your work. Can you take on projects that align with your interests? Can you use your unique skills to solve problems in your organization? Even small changes can make a big difference in how you feel about your work. Fourth, nurture relationships that support your growth and align with your values. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you to be your best self. Fifth, continually educate yourself. Read books, take classes, attend workshops that align with your interests and passions. The more you learn, the more opportunities you will see to align your life with your purpose. Sixth, practice gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the good in your life. Gratitude can help shift your perspective and help you find joy and meaning even in challenging circumstances. Seventh, serve others. Look for ways to use your gifts to make a positive impact on others. This could be through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being there for a friend in need. Service is a powerful way to add meaning and purpose to your life. Some people think that building a life you do not need a break from means you will be working all the time. That's not the case at all. In fact, when you are living a life aligned with your purpose, you will likely find that you naturally create a healthier work-life balance. When your work is an expression of your purpose, you are more efficient and effective. You do not waste energy on procrastination or busy work. This often means you can accomplish more in less time, leaving more space for rest, relationships, and personal growth. When you are living a purposeful life, you do not see rest as an escape from your life. Instead, rest becomes a natural part of your rhythm, a time to recharge so you can continue living out your purpose with energy and enthusiasm. Building a life you do not need a break from also means becoming fully present in each moment. It means finding joy and purpose not just in the big, exciting events, but in the mundane, everyday tasks that make up the bulk of our lives. Your morning routine. Do you rush through it, barely awake, already dreading the day ahead? Or do you approach it with intention, gratitude, and a sense of purpose? Something as simple as savoring your morning coffee, taking a moment to appreciate the sunrise, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection can set the tone for your entire day. I am not suggesting that every moment of your life will be filled with ecstatic joy. That's not realistic, nor is it desirable. Life is complex, with its share of challenges and difficult emotions. But when you are living a life aligned with your purpose, even the challenging moments take on new meaning. They become opportunities for growth, for deepening your understanding, for refining your path. The difference between trudging up a mountain because someone told you to versus climbing that same mountain because you are passionate about reaching the summit. The physical effort might be the same, but the experience is entirely different. One leaves you exhausted and resentful. The other invigorated and fulfilled. That's the difference between a life you need a break from and a life you are fully engaged in. It's not about the external circumstances, but about your internal alignment and sense of purpose. Some of you might be thinking, but I do not know what my purpose is. How can I align my life with something I haven't figured out yet? And that's a valid concern. Finding your purpose is not always easy or straightforward. It's a journey of self-discovery that can take time. Your purpose is not something external that you need to find. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered and expressed. It's in the things that light you up, the causes that move you, the skills that come naturally to you. Start by paying attention to those things. What activities make you lose track of time? What topics can you talk about endlessly? What injustices in the world make your blood boil? These are all clues pointing towards your purpose. Your purpose does not have to be grand or world-changing in the eyes of others. It just has to be meaningful to you. Maybe your purpose is to create beautiful art that brings joy to others. Maybe it's to be the best parent you can be. Maybe it's to solve complex problems in your field of work. Whatever it is, it's valid and important. As you start to uncover your purpose, you will likely find that it evolves over time. That's normal and healthy. As you grow and change, your understanding of your purpose may deepen or shift. The key is to stay open, to keep exploring, to keep aligning your life with what feels most true and meaningful to you in each moment. Some people worry that if they're not constantly striving, if they're not pushing themselves to the brink, they'll become complacent. They fear that contentment equals stagnation. But this fear is based on a misunderstanding of what it means to live a purposeful life. Living a life you do not need a break from does not mean you stop growing or challenging yourself. Quite the opposite. When you are aligned with your purpose, you are naturally motivated to keep learning, to keep improving, to keep expanding your impact. When you are doing something you love, something that feels meaningful and important to you, do not you naturally want to get better at it? Do not you seek out new challenges, new ways to grow and improve?